Hello and namaskar. I am Prabhu Chawla. Welcome to E-Expression, a digital platform for debate and dialogue without fear and without favor. Today we have a special guest with us, one of the finest political leaders in India, Captain Amrinder Singh, the Chief Minister of Punjab. We will discuss with him COVID, development, politics and economics. Welcome, Captain Saab, to the studio.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
How have you been? How are you surviving this whole thing? Because you are the senior most chief minister in the country at the moment. How you have been?
No, I'm fine. Absolutely. Well, we started off on a better foot, but over the period of time, as with the rest of the country and the global situation, it is the situation is deteriorating as far as COVID is concerned. We've done, I can show you the figures of today. We've done about 8,19,000 samples, out of which positive are 36,000, out of which 22 have gone back home after being cured. But we have lost 920 as of yesterday evening. The report come in the evening at about 7 o'clock, so today's report hasn't come, but as of yesterday evening, we had lost 920, and the confirmed cases are 36,000 at the moment, out of which 4,109 are in isolation facilities, 362 on oxygen, and 36 on ventilator. So it's not a very good, maybe better than other parts of the country, but I'm not happy. And we've just, in fact, had a big discussion with all the health and the medical education and all our departments, and we are clamping down on Punjab again. Because
you are going to have extended lockdown again?
I'm going to have extended lockdown again because I think we are going to peak by September, and the figures which are projected are not good. So I don't want that to happen. And we are going to come down now for the next till 31st of this month, and then we'll review it on the 31st.
Now, Mr. Chief, tell me one thing, that the situation is not bad and you're not happy also. And in terms of national figures, you are much more worse than many other states. What could be the reason? Whom do you blame? The people of Punjab? The immigration, or what happened? Your testing is also low as compared to other states.
You can blame. Look, I know when the thing came up, for instance, we got 1,100 people coming from Maharashtra, from Nanded, and 900 of them were positive. So that was the first came. Then we had 46,000 people who were flown in from countries in the West where this already existed. A large number came from there. Then I'm getting about 50,000 people every day coming in from Delhi. Delhi, Haryana and all, they don't all come into Chandigarh, but they pass through Chandigarh. Some stop here and some go through to Kashmir or Himachal or wherever. But, you know, we become a hub of that. And that's what we are concerned about. And we're going to put some checks on movement also. But these are the sort of things that are happening. Now that it started that way, but, you know, this is something that neither you or I or any medical or science professional or any scientist can predict how this disease is going to hit us. It's hit the globe, it's hit India, it's hit us. And we are just part of a larger situation that exists in the country. And but my job is to see if you can, the predictions of September, if I can cut down on that. And whatever they are predicting.
What is the prediction? What is Captain prediction for September?
Predictions are rather gloomy, I'm afraid. It goes up to nearly 100,000 a day and all that sort of thing, which I don't know. And they say that Punjab will reach a peak by September, but who knows? Nobody knows the disease. Maybe September, maybe October.
100,000 a day in Punjab alone?
No, it will reach 100,000.
100,000, okay. I was a little surprised. I was kind of back. 100,000 reached by September. This is really figure, but recovery is also there. If that active cases,
it's only 2 weeks away. I mean, so we have to take action now.
But why your recovery rate is so low as compared to national average of 74%?
Well, I think, you know, one is this Punjabi attitude of, oh, sab theek hai, koi parwah hi nahi, sab kuch.
Parwah nahi hai.
Mausam badal gayi, you know, because of that, and I'm all right. And people are going to the hospital too late. And everyone says that the first 72 hours are critical, or maybe a couple of days are critical. If you go for checkup, go to the hospital then and you're treated, then you come out of it. But if you go in stage 3, it's too late. And that is what is happening with us. Our people are not going. Today, the figures that were given to me, 3% of mortalities are people who died at home. They probably didn't have themselves checked. They didn't care about it, and okay, guzar gaye. Now these are not things that should happen, and that is what
कोई
we
गल attitude of कोई गल नहीं चलो चलेगा.
have.
That is about what is happening in Punjab basically. I think.
That is the fact. Actually, initially in our villages, pinda ch nahi hai zyada, ye shehra ch hai zyada. We are now today, we have our major cities have been under lockdown for a couple of days, and we have added in the rest. About 170 towns are going to come under this. But the fact is that the villages are still relatively free. A small percentage is there in the villages. The rest are all cities. So we have
But
to.
don't
Yeah.
you think, Chief Minister, I'll just repeat because cities, I saw the figures because Amritsar, Ludhiana, Jalandhar, they account for almost 50% of the cases in Punjab. Almost that number is looking at the figures. Don't you think the city wallahs basically, they don't follow any protocol and they're responsible for
Urbanites.
urbanized people?
Well, I know urbanites are the ones who don't care. I mean, the other day I was told some of our doctors, somebody wrote a very nice article, a doctor. He said, I went just down the street of my area to see what people are standing around a ready and eating golgappas. 4 or 5 of them chatting away and eating golgappas. And somebody's standing at the halwai shop. Somebody's standing here, they don't care. Nobody's wearing masks. Today,
But
my medical
don't you,
told me
why don't
that.
you, sorry, sir, why don't you enforce these laws with masks and put
We
heavy
are.
fine on them, arrest them if need be,
I
because
want fine on them.
life is more important.
You know how many people I'm finding every day since it started on the 22nd of March? I'm anywhere between 4,000 and 6,000 people are being fined a day for not wearing their masks, and that means 500 rupees each one has to pay. They don't mind paying.
Why don't you increase it?
Sorry?
Make it 1,000, 10,000, 5,000.
Well, you know, 5, 10,000 is a bit much for people, but I'm just trying to tell you the fact is that they don't care. And
Because
that
that's Captain, all over the country, that's the problem. People are not following the protocol. They don't wear masks, they don't maintain social distancing, they party a lot. Therefore, the blame ultimately lies on the administration that they are not able to implement their own protocol.
Talk to them every week. Every week I talk to Punjab and I discuss COVID with them and I tell them all what's happening. And I tell them, I said, what is the hassle in all of us wearing? I understand the very poor people can't afford it. So what I've done, all my deputy commissions have been given money to make masks, and to anybody who can't afford it, the poor, koi redi wala hai, koi dihadidar hai, somebody like that, and you should give them these masks free. And that is happening. But even then, we are 70% of people are wearing it only.
But as a state, are you ready to cope with 100,000 people when it ultimately comes next month, if it comes? Do you got enough beds? Have you got enough money?
You must remember, no. Well, who has money today? Nobody has money. But the fact of the matter is, out of the 8,19,000, only 36,000 have tested positive, which figures I gave you. So there are a lot of asymptomatic cases. They don't require treatment or hospitalization. They require treatment, but not hospitalization. And that's the way we are going. So by and large, money is a short fall. There is in money, absolutely. 36. You know what my deficit is in the first quarter of this last year? 35,000 crores. 50% of my revenue is gone because we had to shut down industry. We had to shut down liquor shops. Our main, our main Ludhiana, where there are 238 units, 238,000 units. I had 0 units working. I've now come back to 234, and I've come back to about 16 lakh laborers there. But the fact is that we had to, for 3 months, have everything shut down. Liquor shops all shut down. Liquor Punjab used to give us about 6,000 crores in revenue. We were getting 0 revenue from there. So this COVID in the initial stages created a big hassle for us. But still, it is there, and we have to find a solution. I mean, all of us are growing. Haryana is growing now next to me. Rajasthan is growing next to me. On north of me, Himachal is growing. So we are all of us suffering in this area. Now we are reaching our first peak, and I hope that it's the end of the peak, and we are trying to control that peak. But people are saying you got a second peak, and some other countries are getting third peaks. So really, one doesn't understand this disease until the medical people come out with an answer and come out with a serum to deal with it, with the people who are affected, or a vaccine to prevent it happening. I'm afraid this is something is going to be touch and go situation for the medical fraternity too.
Captain, there is another theory also in the, like in America, there was not much of a lockdown there. It was all opened up. Most of the part of America was opened up.
That's why
They
1
reached a
million
peak
died.
and they died. Yes, I know. Initially they died. Now look at the numbers. They are coming down every day.
Coming
But
down.
the numbers in terms of what was happening earlier, in terms of percentage of people affected there, the mortality rate in India is higher than America. We are the highest.
Yeah, we are highest, we are. But then, our population is more. And then, like for instance here, when I started off testing, I was testing 200 people. We didn't have the facilities. Now today my tests are, I'll tell you today how many there are. 17,667 yesterday.
What is the positivity rate?
Positivity rate out of 17,667, 1,693 were tested positive. It's about
that means around little less than 10%.
9%.
Which is good, not bad.
No, it's not a question of bad. Why the figures are going up? Because earlier on they were all roaming around in a positive state without being tested. Now I'm taking the testing up to 30,000. 4 more labs are being commissioned this week. And within 7 days, we should be going up to 30,000. So you will see this figure going higher because there are people roaming around. And people are coming from Delhi. They don't report to any doctor. They go straight to meet their family and they are probably positive and they'll make another 10 people positive. And they in the turn will go to the market and make another 10 people positive. So it's a very difficult thing to handle.
Captain, you are blaming the people like us, Delhi walas also for there, but people like Delhi walas have more relations with Punjab. They have to go and meet them. Are you going to ban them again? You banned them earlier.
People used to tell me, "Pehle Delhi se na aane do kisi ko." I said, "How can I stop anyone coming? It's their home. They are welcome to come."
And you're not going to stop us from coming to Chandigarh or Pickup. No, not at all. But looking at what you rightly pointed out, because there is COVID now, because of the COVID, you have already pointed out your revenue is down. So in the fight between COVID and development, you're suffering at both points of view. COVID is also hitting you very hard. So is the development being hit. How are you going to resolve it in an ultimately long-term basis?
Development stopped was something else. When it started, people got scared. I have about 20 lakh laborers from other states, of Odisha, from Jharkhand, from Chhattisgarh, from UP and all. And everyone said, "Astakar, we want to go home." And then they started agitating and a lot of them started walking home. So then we started getting trains. And I have sent 400 trains of laborers back full. I think it was about 1,700 per train. And we sent them back. Now I'm getting calls from them to say, "Send us a train to bring us back." Because they've seen that this is now, that's what I said. Koi baat nahi, somebody from Punjab rings up their people who've gone from their factories. Nahi, kuch nahi hai, sab theek hai, aada wapas. And they want to come back. So we are not going to put any trains to bring them back, but the industry themselves have organized buses, etc., to bring people back to them. And as I told you, we are back to 17 lakhs in Ludhiana alone, which are working. And then the other, Govindgarh is there, Khanna is there, other towns are there, Phagwada is there. So there are all these places where workers are coming back. So industry is not a problem for me today. It's going on and we are not going to stop that. We are putting checks and balances in the industry itself to ensure that, for instance, if there are 10 people, we put a monitor in charge. It's your job to see that everybody maintains spacing, wash their hands and whatever else is. It's such a simple thing. All you do is wear a mask, wash your hands and social distancing. Why can't anyone understand this? This is I do it, everyone does it around us, but some people है जेरी पंजाबी आदत है ना
चल रहा है चलेगा जी रब रखा है सबका that is attitude we have got it. But I'm again coming back to economics again, basically development, that you are saying your revenue is down and immigration labor which has gone, they are coming back, but still you have a risk of they come back again with some kind of infection. You are already saying the people coming from other states are responsible.
We are checking where they're being checked. Hospitals, our teams are working everywhere. Our teams are working over time really to go around and checking. And if any industry says that somebody is there, they make them sit aside and get them checked first. He may be having some other flu or something, but check us, we have it done too for everyone. And
in terms of finance, Captain, your state was not good shape anyway. Earlier also there was a problem because your revenue streams are limited at that moment. How you're going to take the Punjab back to road to development if there's no money?
Well, one thing good has happened. We've had a bumper crop. So our agriculture sector, which is 60% virtually of Punjab, has got a lot of money. This time we've had a super crop. And now the paddy crop is on and it'll be out in another 2 months. That's also looking very good. So we are not, from the agriculture sector, we are okay. There's enough money for the consumer market and that sort of thing is going in. But yes, industry will take time to pick up. We have started again, as I told you, we are now about 234,000 units in operation. And we've got people there now working. And where they were working at 20%, now they're at 70%. Is that? But it's not only that, you know. People have to, once it's shut down, their markets fell. Now there are people here now who re-got their markets and they're working. There are big industries here which are shipping to America already. And they're working in the toweling industry, the cotton industry and all is doing quite well. So we have, but there are some industries which will take time. I mean, the steel industry is suffering in Govindgarh. Though all units, by the way, when we came in, there were just about 10 or 12 units working. Now I've got over 100 units working in the steel industry because we cut down power to 5 rupees and we did a few things to get the industry moving again. And it is there, but you know, they are further dependent. The automobile industry is down and whatever their consumer industry which consumes steel is down.
Agriculture income, you are saying agro is doing better because you have got record production there, but the MSP prices, which is how much procurement has been done, that depends on that also. And I saw your statement somewhere that you are talking about agro ordinance, which has been issued, not connected with this collection. But there is some problem there because agriculture is not enough for you to survive the new roads.
I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is very simple. That the government of India wants to do away with the MSP system. And you brought this ordinance in. This will be created in a law, and then we will have no. And this is the outcome of the Shanta Kumar committee, which was put years ago. And they had said that the FCI should be wound up and this MSP business should be finished. And that is, you know, our farmer is a very adaptable farmer. In 66, when I started farming, for instance, nobody knew what rice was. We used to grow a little basmati for our house, but otherwise nobody knew. Then the Green Revolution came. And then within 4 years, everyone was growing basmati. So if you give a crop which can save water, which is important for my estate, and on top of that, you give a price to say, okay, all right, now for instance, I'll give you an example. Maize has an MSP of 1,700 rupees or something, okay? But it's not supported. Like the FCI supports wheat and paddy, it's not supported, but the government of India announces an MSP. Now, the day they announced 1,700 something, in Hoshiarpur, it sold at 600 rupees a quintal. Now, that nobody will grow maize. So therefore, government has to summon there has to be a purchase entity, any organization which supports the price or buys it. I mean, I know industry now. There are like ITC has come up, or milk is being bought by Nestle's or other people. Everyone knows that you sell it to us, Nestle, this is the milk price you'll get. But here, if you come into a new crop and your government says diversify, we have diversified this year. For instance, I've got 1 lakh acres more of cotton which is growing this year than before because people have got a good price and the cotton industry is flourishing. So that is one good thing that's just happening. But otherwise,
sorry. I'm just saying that you have agricultural base, you have maximum production, both everything there. But they always, when you were there earlier, the Chief Minister also and the government of India always talked about agro-based development of Punjab because agro-based industry, cola was allowed to come in. One of the Punjab will be flourishing because most of the potatoes and everything Coca-Cola will be taking from there. And your government, Rajiv Gandhi government, made it possible there. But I don't see much agro-based industrial development in Punjab. What is the reason for that?
No, I'll tell you what happened. You know, that was not Coca-Cola, that was Pepsi-Cola. And I was the agriculture minister.
Pepsi-Cola, sorry. Yeah.
This is in 85. Yeah. And I was the one who took this proposal to Rajiv Gandhi to say that Pepsi owned the chain of Pizza Huts. And Pizza Hut was consuming over 1 million tons of tomato paste a year. So we said that look, Pepsi said, if you allow us to sell Pepsi, we will also put up Pizza Hut. and whatever, and we will grow, and they will take an area like Hoshiarpur. They decided to take Nawashahar and Hoshiarpur to be the catchment area for tomatoes. And for some years, they did very well. And the farmer got a lot of money, 4 times what he gets in normal tomato crops. But then what happened? Pepsi sold Pizza Hut to some other group, and their operations in India fell. So that was the thing. But that since then there's been a lot of movement. Let me tell you, there is you got Pepsi putting up another plant near Channo, here near Sangrur, where they make these chips and other things for the consumer industry. Then there is ITC, which has come up with these projects. So there is a lot of projects which are coming up, which are agro-based. But to take over the production of the whole state overnight is not possible. And that
I'm
is
not talking about overnight. 85 we started it. Now we are sitting here now after talking about 35 years. The whole generation has gone.
And the country, we went through 10 years of terrorism period. You recall that after 85. And it was only after the death of our chief minister when he was assassinated, Sarbyan Singh, then some normalcy came. Then it took people time for people to be convinced to come back to Punjab. So all this thing, you are an old hand at knowing all this, what has happened in Punjab. So that unfortunately delayed us. But now things are moving. And let me tell you a good thing too, that in this last 2 years, since we've been back 3 years now, in the last 2 years, 65,000 crore rupees have come on the ground. No MOUs, but actually money gone on the ground to bring up new industry. So that is a good sign. And I hope it will take another
60,000 crore rupees already come there in Punjab.
65,000 crores is already on the ground as of this last financial year. Hopefully now with the COVID ending, more will come. But Punjab
from there, I will take you to the other question which I got. People are saying what you may ask, Captain, that what is the doing for the industry which is also suffering? Any kind of softs for them or not?
We have given lots of softs. And not only that, I put up a committee under Mr. Monte Calvalia and various experts to come up with the proposal for us as to how we can get industry moving out of this after this lockdown period.
They want a concession in terms of taxes which they have to pay to the state government, in terms of other support system which other governments are offering. Have you offered anything, or you're proposing to offer them anything or not?
No, we have given concessions. For instance, we haven't told somebody that, okay, you owe 10 lakhs, that's all cancelled. No. We said, okay, you owe 10 lakhs, then you pay 1 lakh after a quarter, and then another 2 lakhs after another 1 quarter. As Kisam, we've given facilities like that. I can't, I don't have money. How do I run? How do I pay salaries? I won't have money to pay salaries the way we are going. And there are states who have held people's salaries back. I have
you're talking about Monte Calvalia. I've heard and read somewhere that he also recommended don't give free power and everything and stop that freebies. Are you going to implement that as well or not?
He has, he's got a committee of about 17 people. They're experts. Mr. Golati is in agriculture, somebody on something, somebody in America, in Harvard, and various things that they're giving suggestions. Now they're given various suggestions to us. And they've said, we understand your political, our job is as experts to give you this. You have to see what you can possibly accept from this, in this current situation as far as the finances are concerned and as far as your political requirements are. Now, as far as free power is concerned, free power has been going in Punjab for the last 40 years. It's not going to stop.
Not only Punjab, other states also.
Others must be doing it too. But Mike, we are getting critical in this sense. Why I just 2 days ago met the Jal Shakti minister also on this issue, because we have a problem with Haryana, as you know, on the water issue.
Yeah, I'll ask that question later.
I was explaining to him that, it's been 40 years since the Iradi Commission. And you got since then, every 25 years, you're supposed to check what is the water level. So we want to check what is the water level, because your greenhouse effect has finished all our glaciers. The water in the Beas, Satluj and Ravi has come down. And then similarly, overusage of subsoil water. Out of 137 blocks, I'm left with 109 blocks, which are in the black zone, dark zone. They can't pump any more water. And in any case, 70% of my farmers are under 70 acres of, 5 acres of land. 70%. Can they put a tube well down at 350 feet, which costs 5 lakhs of rupees? Not possible. So if you don't give me river water and I can't use groundwater What does my small farmer do? And 70% of Punjab is small farmer.
Well, these are the problem one should anticipate. Now, Mount Singh Aluwali has gone and studied. You are part of Manmohan Singh government. They always believe in market economics. I'm asking you because unless you give them freebies, you are saying it is compulsion. For you, it is good economics. It's a good politics, but bad economics as a whole.
So what I'll tell you, yes, you're right in that. So the fact is this, that I was in 1985, I was agriculture minister of the state. I had rural development and agriculture when I took this issue on. And then this issue of subsoil water receding had come up, and also rivers going down. I don't know, that's 85, 35 years, 36 years now. So that sort of a thing was happening then. And our own Department of Water Resources was saying this is the situation that's going to develop. And that is when I said, let's go for diversification. I told the Chief Minister, with Mr. Barnala, I told everyone, we discussed this issue, that we've got to diversify. Nobody has diversified over the years because they couldn't find any, because there was no market coming to Punjab, as I told you. We had terrorism for 10 years and then the situation was not good. Now people have started coming. And I hope that in the course of the next few years, certainly a major change will start in the agriculture field. And then you can start talking about these other things. But preempting normalcy by saying, okay, we are doing away with the food cooperation, we're bringing ordinances and all that is going to put us out. You know, in my Punjab, I have today complete pressure on from Pakistan. I've got terrorism coming here. I've got weapons coming in. I've got drones delivering weapons. We have over 100 and some terrorists who we have nabbed, gangsters who are involved with them. Everything is happening here. And they need a flashpoint. What is the flashpoint? Flashpoint is water. What was the sum total of the Anandpur sub-resolution? Water. In 2000, and when was that?
You mean to say SYL implementation, if the center, what you said, the Punjab will burn, you are implementing that if water is, it will lead to terrorism in, again, revival of Khalistan.
It's a very simple thing that, you know, what does the farmer today? He can't pump water from underneath, it's too low. He's not getting river waters. Then what happens? His children starve. When his children starve, he's not going to watch them starve. He's going to pick up a weapon, and they've got a ready market from across the border. They've already started. They've started putting these weapons into things. This is common thinking. I mean, for instance, if my children are starving from a job which I've done all my life, aren't I going to feel it? Aren't you going to feel it?
Captain, somewhere I can. Captain, let me put it the other way. You see, the question is the Punjab is facing water problems, whatever you are talking about, and earlier because of terrorism. Water has been extracted by the farmers. There is something sociologically or whatever you want to call it. It is the Punjab problem has been created by Punjabis themselves. Because water they extracted, now they are saying we want water. The SYL judgment has come from Supreme Court. It has not come from anywhere else.
I don't agree with that. Look, there was a time when we had the PL 480. What were we doing? We were going to America with a begging bowl for food. And then the Punjab Agriculture University took out the challenge. It got Philippines rices and it's got Mexican wheats. And as I was telling you just now, within a short while, Punjab fed the whole country. We are the ones who worked hard and fed the whole country, and with that PL 480, which was really a, what should I say, a sad thing for the country. No country go around begging for food. It is our Punjabi who did it. Our Punjabi farmer did it. Our agriculturist, our PAU people did it. They did all this, and they got us out of it. Now, for 60 years, we have fed the country since then. Now, when your Ganga Jamuna basin is developed, your Narmada basin is developed, your Kaveri basin is developed. Therefore, Punjab food is not there, so let these Punjabis go. That is not the answer. We are all
what do you expect from the central government in terms of water, in terms of resources?
Not to carry on the FCI business and to have an MSP for these foods. If you want to get us out of paddy, then do it. But do it by telling us what is the alternative and support it. You're talking of maize now. I talked to you, 1,700 rupees worth of price support, and you're selling it. The farmer's getting 600 or 700. What is this price support? You tell him, okay, we will cut down on paddy. You grow maize, I will give you this much price support on that. And you see how the Punjabi farmer will change like this.
But you can do at your state level also, no? Some innovations.
With what? How can a price support be supported by Punjabi farmer?
Once
Do you
you
know how much?
start.
Do you know how much that the wheat crop was this time? 26,000 crores. 26,000 crores went into the farmer's pocket. This thing. Where will Punjab produce 26,000 crores to support the price? We can't do it.
You see,
It's
Captain,
a,
I'm asking you a very blunt question. You have been supporting the central stand on Pakistan, Kashmir, and China. What have you got in return so far from the Modi government?
I don't want anything. I do it for my country. It's my country. If Pakistan is creating a Pulwama and killing my soldiers, I'm a soldier. I've been 5-10 years in the Indian army, and if my soldiers are being killed or my airmen are being shot down or the Chinese come and with spikes and kill my soldiers there, then very much there we are there for to support my soldiers. One doesn't do everything for getting something in return. You do it because your conscience tells you to do it, and because my feelings tell me to do it.
Hey, Captain, you have a good equation with the Prime Minister. I'm just saying in terms of, because you said because of SYL there will be terrorism, revival of Khalistan, and that is all going to happen. So you need a central help to hold your hand in this movement, isn't it?
Well, the thing is that this is not the center who's done it. This is done by it's a Supreme Court order. And this is what we are now today. And the Supreme Court has asked the chief ministers all to sit together with Jal Shakti and resolve an issue. The question resolving it is a problem. And that is something that let's see how it evolves in the days to come. But otherwise, yes, but every prime minister, when Vajpayee ji was prime minister, I was chief minister, we had good relations. You know, party to party, it's something else. But government to government, it's something else. And government to government, I have never had a trouble, either at the time of Mr. Vajpayee or this time now, which is happening. And neither did the Akalis or the BJP governments have any problem with Dr. Manmohan Singh. In fact, Dr. Manmohan Singh used to listen to the chief minister more than he listened to us. And we used to tell him, sir, what are you doing? He said, ये मेरी duty है. This I have to do my duty as he's one of our chief ministers. So these are things that governments to governments work in that manner.
But what about now? Now you chief minister listen more often?
I have no problem. I mean, whatever we do, whatever is being given by this government to other states, we are also getting. We have no problem.
You're happy with whatever is being given to you in terms of financial support?
I will never be happy under this system. Which chief minister can be happy when you are facing such a crisis in his state, and both financial and the COVID business? But these are things that you have to accept. And whatever is being given to a BJP state is being given to me. So I don't have any regrets on that. I can, if
there's no demand pending with the central government as far as the Punjab is concerned in terms of financial support.
Plenty of demands pending with it. I like a lot of things to happen in Punjab. We have asked the government for lots of things, but we understand their constraints also, and these are something that we have to accept. Forget about Punjab. Even India's short of money. India's borrowing from the Reserve Bank and India's borrowing from somewhere. These things are going on. It's a major crisis. I look at Punjab. I'm only 2% of India. What about the other 98%?
But you have been in news for much more time because of this wrong reason. That's a different issue. I'm going back to the question because Punjab, you are putting various things here. But I am talking about when you took over, you fought on the basis of drugs will be eliminated. There won't be anything problem there. And looking at the recent tragedy where so many people died, don't you think that somewhere the state government has not taken enough initiative to stop this kind of illegal trafficking in drugs? And
we've lost 123 people in this liquor tragedy which took place. Now, why did liquor tragedy start? We haven't had liquor problems here in Punjab because, but when people are, adept at drinking, they are used to drinking. They're alcoholics, let's put it this way, and suddenly you cut down our industry, liquor industry was shut down. All our L1s and L2s and whatever they are all shut down, and there people couldn't find liquor elsewhere. Then that's when the black marketing starts, and that started then. And that is what has caused this tragedy for me. But this is not only me. UP has had it, Assam has had it, various other places have had these tragedies. So it's a sad thing that's happened. But it is there, we've caught them all. Everyone has been caught. Now what is it? You take this methylated spirit from somebody in Delhi and it's sold to somebody in Ludhiana. He sells it to somebody in Moga, and instead of selling it to the paint industry to polish your houses or furniture, you make liquor of it and sell it. Then it becomes a law and order problem, and that is the law and order problem we've cracked down on. We've caught everybody up on that. There's no score on this. As far as drugs are concerned, let me tell you, Punjab is now very much the drugs are under control. Now we have the cocaine problem, we've had the opium problem, we've had all sorts of problem coming from Afghanistan, the Golden Triangle, and all is coming in here. I set up a organization called the Special Task Force under a ADGP, a very able ADGP, Harpreet Sidhu, and we have today broken the back. All the small fry are locked up, all the middle fry are locked up, all our big people. One of the big sharks is now under, it was Government of India and us, our operation, both. They have, through Interpol, got one man locked up in Rome. There's one man locked up in one of these Central Asian countries, and there's one man locked up in Hong Kong. And the Government of India is assisting us in trying to get their extradition. Then we can go in for the bigger thing. But we all know where it's coming from. Coming from Afghanistan.
Captain, one thing you are saying everything is good, and I can trust you because you are quite experienced. You admit everything what is there. But why some of your own party colleagues are raising questions about your administration, even your own president, former president, spoke about it, and you withdrew his security. Why this Congress party itself is not united in this fight?
Security have I withdrawn? No, you're talking about, listen, what is security meant for? Is it to carry my golf clubs? Is it for me to send my children to school, or to work as gardeners in my house, or to work as domestic servants? My security is there to secure a person's life against any threat that there is. And I have withdrawn 66,000 people from the police force from personal securities in the last 2 months.
Including your own party men.
I've got 1,200 policemen down with COVID. Who's going to take that place? So I've withdrawn 12. I've forget the party man. I've sent of my police force there also, my own security. It is our job to do that, and we have to give it. My poor boys are working for 18 hours a day in the.
No, but Captain, is there a connection between his criticism and the withdrawal of security?
Well, the question is, anyone can criticize anything. There in every party, you have various people who are want to project themselves as whatever they wish to project themselves. I don't want to comment on that thing. But the fact of the matter.
Yeah, I want to go to national level now.
You are an old timer at this. You know everything how parties.
As a journalist, I have to ask a question. You are such an experienced chief minister. You are confining yourself to Punjab. You are not taking interest in the Congress internal affairs. Why you are secluded, staying away from everything? A lot of things are happening in your own party.
Ever since I've been in politics now 52 years.
Yeah.
Ever since I entered politics, I've always had an affinity for my state. And I feel happier. I've been twice in Parliament. I didn't feel happy. I've been 7 times, I think, in Assembly now. I feel happy, and I enjoy doing something because I feel I'm doing something positive for my state. That is all.
Your affinity to the state, also to the party, isn't it?
Of course, it's for the Congress party.
And party is going, as per report, party is going down the dumps. There's a fight everywhere going on, and a person like you can intervene and solve the problem.
Which party is not going? They call it the ups and downs. You're talking about the Congress being down. When I was in Parliament, there was Mr. Vajpayee. At that time, BJP had 3 people or 2 people or something in the House.
1980.
And we were. When was it when Rajiv was Prime Minister? We had 400 and something then. Yeah. And now they are that thing, and we are down a bit. We are not 2. We have whatever we are, 50, 40, 50. So the point is, these things happen. This is democracy working, and this is the way it should work. If I don't do a good job, I won't be elected back. Therefore,
no, but in the BJP that lost the election, in your party, people are leaving you from every state. Your states are being toppled. Congress and MLAs you can't hold them together. They're leaving. So there is a leadership crisis, isn't it?
That political manipulation. वो तो करते हो आप सभी करते हो. आपको तो जाने, you should know that political manipulation. What do you think? What was being attempted in these various? What is happening in Madhya Pradesh? What is happening in Rajasthan? It's all manipulation. We stood strong there, and we've come out of that manipulation. ये तो होती रहती हैं. जब BJP is on top, then they do it against us. When we are on top, we do it against them. It's part of the political process.
So basically, BJP is doing what they are claiming that Congress used to do earlier. That is what you are admitting here also.
No. That was a different scenario. That time it was Ayaram, Gyaram time you're trying to bring it in. That time now there's a law, there's an act, nobody can just disappear from one party to another. Therefore, you try to take the whole party with you when you break away.
Now there's a different formula. Now you force people to resign and convert the majority into minority.
But this is now the system is this. But fortunately, the Punjab, it's okay. We are going through a low at the moment. We'll go into a high. This happens always.
Congress party, don't you think Congress?
I remember Mr. Sukhbir Badal saying he's going to be here for the next 40 years. Where did he go? Similarly, if the BJP thinks that they are there forever, they're not going to be there forever. These are things that happen. Otherwise, why are we a democracy? Then we are a dictatorship. Then you become like
you don't have it
somehow or somebody and do that.
You don't have an alternative to Modi, na?
Who?
Congress party doesn't have, or nation doesn't have. I don't see any face which is an alternative to.
Remember, there used to be a slogan: after Nehru, who? After Indraji, who? After Shastriji, who? There's something will evolve in this country. Nothing is there which is static.
In your party, you don't have a person who can lead the party.
From a long life, I don't want anything like that to happen to anyone. But politically, there is always these ups and downs take place, and nobody is ever there permanent. I mean, there were great leaders in this world. Where have they gone? Where's Roosevelt gone? Where's Eisenhower gone? Where is Churchill gone? All these people have disappeared. But for that moment, everyone used to say, who after Churchill? Don't you remember those?
But you are giving for an example. I'm talking about Congress party, 130-year-old party there. At the moment, you don't have even permanent president.
So we are at the moment on a low. With the Congress party, we will bounce back. There will be a time, and I hope in my own lifetime there will be a time to see the Congress party back. This happens. I think you're making too much of it to say that, okay, we are down now. But why was the BJP down?
I'm not saying down. You don't have a president.
Who says we don't have a president?
It's a temporary, according to your own assessment, it's an interim arrangement.
20 years, Mrs. Gandhi has been our president, and she is the one who brought me in incidentally. Do you remember?
I remember.
After Blue Star, when I rejoined, it was Mrs. Gandhi who brought me in. And I've been our president 3 times. I've been a chief minister twice. So, I mean, she's working. She's an excellent person to work with. Now, the party will come up with somebody. There's no question of it not coming. Don't think a 130-year-old party is just going to disintegrate because somebody else wishes it to disintegrate.
Captain, but don't you think there is a problem of succession crisis? Because you are always, there's no succession to Amrinder Singh, there is no succession in Punjab.
People say, after Badal who? Somebody will emerge.
After Badal, Sukhbir is there already.
No, I'm saying the Badal family. The Badal family shifts out, then who? Somebody will emerge.
In the Congress party,
this party has been in existence since 1920. Their party, I'm talking about it. You mean to say in 1920 it was Badal who led the whole show? They only led it for the last few years. Before that, there were other people who were leading. Similarly, after Mr. Badal goes, there'll be other people leading. So why are we concerned about this?
Yeah, as an experience.
Congress party will have we will form our own government at one time, and we will form with our own president, whoever we choose. And that will come in due course, will come out.
No, don't you think the people are talking about always when the question arises, there is always a question happening. There has to be SG, Sonia Gandhi, there has to be RG, Rajiv Gandhi, there has to be PG, Priyanka Gandhi. Why not Amrinder ji, or why not some Gehlot ji? Why not somebody non-Gandhi?
Well, I'll tell you what you want. You want me to say? I'll say the Congress president is an excellent president, and I hope her to continue. If she doesn't wish to continue, then I wish Rahul Gandhi will continue. That's my wish. I know Rahul Gandhi since he was a 2-year-old boy. I've known Mrs. Gandhi for the last 50 years. And I think their capabilities, I've seen her capable. She believes in the modern method of management, that give a person a task and he will complete it. If he doesn't complete it, out. That's the way it should be. And that's
means you are admitting basically in the Congress party, there is no alternative to Gandhi's.
I don't care. There may be alternatives from other people. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm telling you what I feel.
According to you, first, Mrs. Gandhi should continue. Second, Rahul Gandhi should take over.
If she feels that she would like to now pass the baton on to somebody else, let her pass it on. And I would, and if I'm asked, okay, you choose who do you want it, I'll point to Rahul Gandhi.
Why do you think he's suitable and better than you?
Because he's a very competent chap. No, because I'm not interested in going to Delhi. I'm very happy with my Punjab. Why do you want to throw me out of Punjab?
Because you are a modern person, you are also from. I will just Punjabi kahaniyan tusi bhi doon school te hege ho.
No, that's got nothing to do with school. I mean, when I was in school with his father, not with him.
Yeah, correct. Then he went after that. You are with him. The question is why there is always a compulsion dependent on Gandhi. I want to just understand because I've been covering politics for 40 years. I've covered all the Gandhis.
I explain you my feeling. I can't explain otherwise. Otherwise, I can tell you that if you ask the Congress party today, how many, stand them up. Tell me firstly, is there any village in India which doesn't have a congressman? I don't think so. Even
now there's a Congress flag in every village in the country. You are right.
Line them all up and ask them who they would like. They will point to them.
They'll go for the Gandhis.
I think generations have grown up in a system and in a way. And I think people have just accepted this, that this family has done a great deal for us, whether it was Pandit Jawaharlal ji or Motilal ji or whoever they are. They worked for the freedom struggle, and various other. Mrs. Gandhi went through a difficult time. And look how she fought. I was with her then when she was thrown out of the job. And she went around and she stopped at one time in some station in UP at, I think, 2 o'clock in the morning. And there were
election that way.
three people on the platform. She got out and addressed the 3 people. That is the way.
Last question I'm going to ask you. You are saying Gandhis are, of course, indispensable according to your personal choice. But I'm saying you gave a statement that was your last election. But are you going to contest election again in 2022?
Yes, I did say then when I came in that this is going to be my last election. But then I think a lot of friends and all thought, and I also thought, that whatever I have left in me, the time, then I should give it back to my state. And I decided that I would stand.
The Congress will fight the election under your leadership again in 2022.
I do not know. That is up to the Congress president to decide.
But you would like to contest again?
Yes, I would contest again. That means something, that I'm 3 years older than you and I'm still fit.
But in BJP, there's a limit of 75 now, 70 plus. Anyway, wish you all the best, fighting COVID as well as development. Thank you, Kamarinder, for coming to my show. Thank you.
To hear you.
Yeah.
And I hope keep well.
Thank you.